Hello, peace everyone. Welcome to your 15-minute pick-me-up yoga class. Whether you're feeling stressed out or you just need a moment to yourself, this class is perfect and concise. So you can meet me in the middle of your mat in an easy seat. So we're going to get started with a couple head rolls. So bringing that right ear to the right shoulder, maybe taking an inhale, bringing your chin to the heavens. Left ear to left shoulder, exhale, and chin to chest. Taking a couple more of these, rolling to the right on your own time. Smoothing out the transitions, just creating circles. And when you're ready, reversing to the left. Really incorporating your breath here. Releasing any tension that no longer serves you. Remembering that this time is for you right now, nothing else. So really deepen into our practice today. So returning your head back center. We're going to bring our right ear to our right shoulder and guiding down our left shoulder with our left hand and guiding down the left side of our face with our right hand. Just gently pulling down, opening up our neck and our shoulder, even closing your eyes if that feels good. And go ahead and reverse to the other side, bringing the left ear to the left shoulder. Using your hands to guide your shoulder and your head down further. Really connecting to your breath here. And releasing the stretch, meeting me back in a neutral, easy seat. We're going to bring our hands on top of our knees and taking a couple seated cat-cows. So inhale as we release our chest and our belly forward. And exhale, rounding out our back, bringing our belly button in to kiss our spine. Once again, inhale, chest, heart, throat forward. Exhale, rounding out our back. 2 more times, inhale, heart shining forward. Exhale, rounding out to the back. Inhale, heart shining forward. Exhale, rounding out to the back. Good. Meeting me in a neutral, easy seat. We're going to make our way to our hands and knees, meeting me in a tabletop position. So once we get here, we're going to tuck our toes underneath us and lift up our knees about 2 inches off of the mat. Just creating a little bit of fire in our legs and our glutes and our core. Inhale here. And exhale, release your knees back down. You can go ahead and tap your toes gently onto the mat behind you. And when you're ready, tucking those toes underneath one last time and lifting those knees off of the mat about 2 inches. Creating stability here, trusting yourself. Inhale. And exhale, release back down onto the mat. We're going to walk our hands forward to the top of the mat and melting our heart and our forehead down into the earth, leaving our glutes pressed up towards the heavens, meeting me in puppy pose. So you are more than welcome to maybe wiggle your hips a little bit here, opening up our hips. We have the tendency to store trauma, to store emotions in our hips. So our intention right now is to release all of that because it no longer serves us. And taking one more deep breath here, continuing to wiggle your hips. And after that last exhale, rolling up, meeting me in a neutral tabletop, walking your hands back underneath your shoulders. Good. We're going to tuck our toes underneath us and shift our hips up into a downward dog. Rooting our heels into the earth, maybe walking out our feet a little bit. Grounding each heel, alternating, bending one leg at a time. Keeping your shoulders pressed away from your ears. Bringing your belly button in to kiss your spine. Making subtle adjustments for yourself. Noticing where you're holding tension and releasing it. It does not belong to you anymore. Go ahead and root your heels down into the earth. We're going to inhale as we raise that right leg off of the mat, keeping your hips squared in a three-legged dog. And exhale, bringing that right leg through, stepping it in between your hands and lowering down onto that left knee, raising those arms up overhead in a low crescent lunge. Deepening into our hips here. Making sure our core is tight. And finding the ground with both hands, shifting our hips back to a half split. You can feel free to maybe point, flex that right foot. Whatever you need to do to deepen into this stretch, bring attention to your hamstrings. And shifting back forward to your low lunge, tucking those left toes underneath you and shifting your hips back to your downward facing dog. Once we get here, inhale, lifting that left leg up off of the mat, three-legged dog. Exhale, bringing it through, lowering down onto that right knee, low crescent lunge on the left side. Sinking deep into those hips. Allowing your breath to guide you further down. And finding the mat with your hands, shifting your hips back into your half split. You can feel free to point and flex that left foot if it helps you. Making any adjustments that you need for your own practice, remembering that this is for you. We're going to shift back forward to our low lunge, tucking those right toes underneath and shifting our hips back to our downward dog. And once we get here, we're going to walk our feet up to meet our hands in a forward fold. You can keep your knees bent here if you like, always listening to your body. We're going to inhale as we halfway lift, heart is shining towards the top of the mat, and exhale back down to forward fold. And bending our legs generously, reaching out and up into the heavens, inhale. Exhale, Samastitihi, mountain pose. Good. Inhale, raising those arms up overhead. And exhale, folding forward over those legs. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Planting our hands and stepping or hopping back to our high plank. And exhale, chaturanga, lower down all the way onto your belly. And once we get here, we're on our belly. We're going to clasp our hands back behind us. Shifting into locust pose. So raising our chest and our forehead off of the mat. Raising our arms higher, using this pressure to raise our legs off of the mat as well. Inhale here, and exhale, release all the way down onto the mat. We're going to find the mat with our hands, tucking our toes underneath and lifting all the way up into our high plank. Shifting our hips back into a downward dog. After rooting our heels here, we're going to inhale, raising that right leg off of the mat, three-legged dog. Opening up our hip this time, and we can bend that right leg in, bringing that right foot in to meet your glutes, opening up those hips. Maybe making a couple circles with that right knee, and reversing those circles as well, just taking it on your own time. There's no need to rush. Doing whatever feels good for your body. And when you're ready, we're going to step that right leg through in between those hands and raising those arms up overhead in high crescent lunge. We're going to clasp our hands back behind us, shifting that left heel down into the earth, rooting that heel, and lowering our upper body into humble warrior. Using the weight of your arms to press you down even deeper, allowing gravity to take a hold of you. And finding the mat with your hands, stepping back to meet your left foot, lowering down to chaturanga as you exhale. Inhale, upward dog, and exhale, meeting me in downward dog. Reversing to the other side, so lifting up that left foot, three-legged dog, and opening up those hips. You can take a couple circles with that left knee if your body chooses to. Remembering that this is a flow, so your body is always moving. Even if it doesn't quite seem like there's nothing to move in a stagnant pose, thinking about how your body is moving from the inside. Our veins are pumping, our heart is beating, there's information running from our brain to our body. We are alive. Something's always happening. And stepping that foot in between your hands, meeting me in your high crescent lunge on the left side. Deepening into this pose, there is always so much deeper that we can go, whether it's physically, mentally, spiritually. It's always a practice. And clasping your hands back behind you, lowering your upper body down into your humble warrior. Your third eye is shining down towards the middle of the earth. Those arms are up overhead, using that pressure to guide you further down. And finding the mat with your hands, stepping your left foot back to meet your right, lowering down to your chaturanga. Exhale. Inhale, upward dog, and exhale, meeting me in downward dog. Good. Once we get here, we're just going to lower our knees all the way down and shifting our hips back to a child's pose. Taking this moment here to yourself, maybe noticing how your body feels as opposed to how it felt before we started. And staying sitting on our knees, we're just going to roll up our spine so that it is erect, and we're just sitting on our knees. We're going to bring one hand to our heart, one hand to our belly, and just notice our breath. I hope this practice brought you clarity and more peace. Take as much time as you need to transition into the rest of your day. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.